My name is Lebu, and I was born in the village. My dad is a policeman. He says not everyone is bad. My mom is a nurse. She makes people better. I also have one sister. She doesn't know what she wants to do yet. My uncle lives on the edge of the village. He has a farm. Farming is hard. Sometimes the rain doesn't come. It's okay. We have what we need. Life is simple in the village. My grandfather said I could become anything I wanted to. I was sad when he died. I want to have a shop. People are always buying things. Last month we got some visitors. They brought us the tower. They told us it would be like having the city right here in the village. We all wondered what they meant. How can you bring the city to the village? One day at school, we found a TV in the classroom. There was a teacher we didn't know doing a lesson on the screen. She told us we would now be able to do our tests online and we could submit them for marking right away. We would get the results there and then. This was because of the tower. Then Dad came home one day and explained that there was a new system at work. Everyone in the village would have their details collected and kept for the police. Where they lived, their fingerprints, and if they had been good or bad in the past. He said that because it was harder to hide, less people would do bad things. Even the bank. We don't have a bank in the village, but Dad says that now people can get paid on their cell phones. People won't have to carry cash, so they won't be able to get robbed. All because of the tower. The other night, Mom got so excited. She said the tower has changed things for her too. The clinic has started putting all the patient's details into one big file that cannot ever be lost. This means she knows exactly who that person is and what has happened to them in the past. It makes the doctor more able to tell what is wrong with them and make less mistakes with medication. This tower, it has brought so much information to the village. Even on the farm. My uncle is a good farmer, but he has been struggling. The weather is changing, so he doesn't know if he should pay for water or if the rains will come. My sister told my uncle he can get very good weather reports on his phone and that there are small things he can put in the ground that will tell the tower how the soil is doing and what it needs. My uncle said he doesn't have money for these clever things. She told him the bank will collect information about the farm and decide if they can lend him the money he needs. They will also help him to find people who will buy his crops. My uncle was not sure about all this science. He asked my sister to be his assistant with this tower stuff. She said she would be happy to help. What about university? Asked my uncle. Oh, I will go to university, uncle. Right here. She pointed to a computer. The tower will let me look after the farm business and study. I like this tower. Everyone can do more. It makes us more connected to each other and the world. Now when I think about what I want to be, there's so many new ideas. I wish Grandfather could have seen it. NEC Exxon, orchestrating a brighter world.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your MC and host for the day, Executive Vice President Johan Coetzee.
Good morning, good morning. As Rudy said, my name is Johan Coetzee. I'm responsible for NEC Exxon's operations across the African continent. and I'm also your MC today. Now, there's a little story behind that. You know, me and Rudy had to make an important decision. Are we going to spend the money for an MC, or are we just going to put it into the dancing girls with the violins later this afternoon? And when you see them perform later this afternoon, I think you will support this very wise decision that we've made. So please bear with me. The reward is coming towards the end. Having said that, I really want to extend a warm word of welcome to so many people in the room today. So we have customers here from South Africa. We have, hopefully, potential customers here from South Africa and Africa. We have many of our partners. We have some great speakers. So I think, you know, today you will be enchanted by what I think is the best minds in the industry around the whole concept of open, the whole concept of connectivity, and the whole inflection point that we think we're reaching in terms of, you know, bringing communications to the masses faster, more data, and at a very much lower cost. So we'll take you through that journey as we go through the presentations today. Word of welcome also for people that are tuning in remotely. We have people in Cape Town, I think people in Namibia, people in KZN, Nairobi, Kenya, Ivory Coast, so across the African continent, we are live streaming, and welcome to you guys as well. A special welcome to His Excellency Mr. Norio Maruyama, the Ambassador of Japan, who agreed to open the proceedings for us this morning. Welcome, Ambassador.
Hi. Thank you, MC. Thank you, Han, for your kind introduction to me. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have this one today. And because I have an intuition that today is supposed to be very digital, and an ambassador who I used to have a habitude to write down everything on the paper, read the paper, and he will have a little bit difficult to find the podium. This was my intuition that I got today. So I put everything here. But knowing that the reading out is not so much welcome looking at what you are expecting to me, I try to change everything that I've been putting here just to tell what I would like to say at this occasion, because I know that we have a very, well, how can I say, excellent keynote speaker and the panelists here, which means that the role of the ambassador is to share with you which kind of the experience he has with the NEC and how Japanese government is supporting this 5G and what kind of the future we need to build together. Because South Africa is very important for Japan in a very, how can I say, long-term cooperations. But I would like to start from my experience with the incredible technology of the ANC provided and helped Africa and also some other region by their technology. This is a solution for the development agenda. The one is we are now in the period of the COVID. Fortunately, here in South Africa, things have been stabilizing and we don't need to have a lot of masks everywhere. But in Japan, we're still struggling. And at that time, I do remember 2014, there is a kind of deja vu about this pandemic, about the pandemic itself. It's called not COVID, it's called Ebola. I think that some of you remember what was Ebola at that time. It was a pandemic that was contaminating everybody, and everybody was so much scared about, and it was one of the top subjects to discuss in the UN General Assembly in 2014. And United States, Japan, everybody who have their means try to support the western part of Africa who suffered about that. And on this context, I would like to tell what is important is that, if the pandemic occurs as COVID-19, as already explained very well, it can be transmitted very easily through the movement of the people. So we need to do screening at the airport, screening at the port. At that time, Japan has a good technology of screening at the airport, because when you talk about the screening and check the thermal screening, so taking the temperature of everybody, you have to stop everybody and check one by one What does it mean at the airport? Extremely long queue and extremely time-consuming and out of our imaginations. So the technology of NEC is to provide this kind of thermal screening with the multi-persons detections, which means, you don't need to stop the mass that's rushing to the counter, just to camera them, and you will find on your screen the number, the figure of the people who has not the average temperatures. So in doing this, Japan has no problem to stop people, and we wanted to share this with African continent. It was in 2014, 2015. I was responsible of this Africa in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and we talked with NEC how we can provide to the important hub airport of this continent. And we succeeded. More than 10, even 12, 15, 14, 15 countries wanted to have this technology, and we managed to do so. Of course, to the western part, but also not here in South Africa, but Kenya, if my memory is correct, and Ethiopia, we try to have this because it's the hub of the African continent. This was my first experience, so amazed about that. Talking about Kenya, Japan, since 1993, organized an international conference named TICAD. TICAD stands for Tokyo International Conference on African Development. This is the development conferences inviting all of the African countries at the head of state and head of government level, but also inviting the partner, and together with the UN organization and World Bank, who are our co-organizers. We started in 1993, and now more than 30 years of experiences and achievement behind that. This year is particularly important because this is the year of the TICAD. We will have TICAD number 8, TICAD 8 in this continent, in Tunisia, on 27 and 28 of August. Why TICAD is important? Because involvement of the Japanese and private sectors getting more and more important. The first time we organized this TICAD meeting in this continent, it was in 2016, and it was in Nairobi, Kenya. This is the reason why I'm talking about Kenya. And at that time, the most challenging thing was how to successfully done this international meeting, gathering the VIP. The number of the VIPs is extremely important because at that time, roughly 40 head of state and head of government gather in Nairobi. And on top of this, more than 70, nearly 80 Japanese CEO to the private sector. Well, every name you should know this because on the top they have at the top of the president of Keidanren was there, and you will see how the number of the people gathering there was impressive. But for this, security is the most important thing to assure. Without security, no success for this kind of meeting. So for this, we discussed with our colleagues, and finally we found other solutions with NEC. NEC provided us facial recognition systems and the other imaging system with the facial recognitions and putting everywhere to the entrance of the guarded area was quite important to give the feeling that this place is safe. So this is and you know that the NEC is present in this continent, and now in South Africa, thanks to NEC Exxon. He's not here, he's here. Thanks to Exxon. And together, I think NEC will be a very successful road here in South Africa and also in the continent. And today, I'm so happy to hear that the NEC is now going with Rakuten for the 5G. You know, during the COVID, I think that you have, you understand very well that the 5G is a must, because if not, you have your meeting on I I don't want to mention a particular name of the the providers, but online platform providers, you are there and you have some difficulty of the connection because it is not 5G. So communication infrastructures is a lifeline of our style of life that has been, well, accumulated one by one during this COVID-19 period. And now that we have here gathering, celebrating the 5G with NEC and the LAC10, I'm so happy to be here, to be part of this, because I know the high qualities of NEC, the technology of NEC, which means this is the brand of Japan that an ambassador of Japan is very proud to share with you. Thank you very much. I wish you
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. And I also want to thank the Ambassador in Japan, in particular in these turbulent times, for their continued support to the African continent. You know, we see the work that they do and the grants that come through in a variety of areas that they are involved in. I just want to run quickly through the agenda, so it's all on the table, so you guys can look at it there in detail. So we're going to work until 11:05, then we will have some refreshments, the last sessions, and then 12:45, we got very, very good lucky draw prizes, so we'd like to try and entice you to stay until the end. After the lucky draw, there will be a cocktail lunch and the live performance by the muses. On the right-hand side there is a kiosk, so when you go through break, please have a look at that. If we're fortunate, that might be the new way of obtaining your passport, your ID, and over time, your car finance, and so forth. No more queues, no more people standing around the blocks. It is really interesting technology. Also, at every one of the exhibitors upstairs, there's a little QR code, so please just scan that of your phone as you go through all of the stalls for the draw that we will have later. Just to start the storyline quickly, around NEC and Exxon. So from an Exxon point of view, we like to think the story started here, but it actually started in Japan in 1899, known as the Nippon Electric Company. So we're close to 120 years later, and NEC now a 27 billion rand organization and a world leader in many aspects. So it's always I think we say they provide from undersea cables to satellites, and that is really true. Obviously, in South Africa, we don't play in all those areas. So what's really important for us, number one, is the whole area of communications, connectivity, where NEC has got its own products, but primarily it's become an integrator. NEC supports strongly all of the products of the partners that you see displayed at the top. And of late, they've also been buying. And I think the latest announcement was this week, around Aspire Technologies, which is a 5G Open RAN integrator. A little while ago, there was Blue Danube, which is also a company that develops open software. So there's a huge amount of investment around, you know, this whole area of communications. $4.4 billion in the past 5 years, and with a stated intent of another $5 billion in the next 5 years to be invested. So just a quick word about Exxon. So what happened was NEC and Exxon decided 7 years ago to do a merger. Exxon now just over 20 years old, so which is normally in South African terms, you know, quite a long time for the integrator to survive successfully. Obviously against the 120 years of NEC, that's a little bit shorter. But what happened was that now we've created a Pan-African footprint in terms of being able to deliver a variety of solutions. On the little wheel that you see behind me, that is in essence the solutions that we provide. Today, we are going to primarily focus on the communication solutions, which is at the bottom right end, I think. And we are going to say something about safety solutions because, you know, when we talk about this, there's always the issue of a security threat. And then leading to that, we are also going to have a session on alternative energy, which is becoming a more and more prevalent topic, you know, in the times that we live. So we're going to have a panel discussion around that a bit later, which I think you will find extremely interesting. So in summary, we're in the process and we are recognized for building solutions across Africa. Today, in particular, we want to really talk about communication solutions and alternative energy solutions. And once again, I thank you for your time.